Is it started? Yeah, that's great. So here we go. Today we are going to discuss about the next part related to the cloud security. And as you remember that the last time we discussed about, maybe I just make a pointer again. The last time what we discussed that was actually up to the initial things, and we divided about the cloud security. If I take you to that particular picture, you can see that yes, this is the overview of the evolution of checklist related to the security, and we discussed that the security we break it up and manage it into multiple subsections or subparts to control its security in a better way. And then we discussed about the first two parts, that was the foundational security, with foundational security, which means that which is the basic level security. We discussed about that, and then we discussed about inside the fundamental security, the policy, standards, and guidelines, and transparency, personal security, third-party providers. If suppose in case in any of the model, if we have, then how we can consider the security aspects in that personal case, and also how we can handle about the personal case for the transparency among the client and for the SLAs and policies and security issues like that. And then we also discuss about the second subgroup, which was the business consideration. Here we discuss about the legal aspects as well of the security, business continuity, and the resources provisioning, then these things related to the security. Today we are going to continue from that, as we know that this is the most important part. Uh, Security is the most important part, as we discussed in our last lecture, that how much important it is and why it is crucially it is important. So now today we will be discussing about the defense in depth. So when we will talking about the defense in the depth, so it means that we will cover each and everything which is actually inside the data center. Or what we can say, data center, as you know that data cloud or the cloud computing is actually the combination of the data centers. So inside the data center, we will consider about the software assurance and the things related to the software, about the network security, about the host and virtual machine security, about different models. And we need to identify the access management principles, how the access management is being maintained there, what are the level of procedures, what are the means in case of the emergency, in case if suppose some emergency is there, then how the things are going to handle, and what are the current authentication mechanisms. I hope that you remember that about the authentication mechanisms we already discussed, that we have federated authentication mechanism. We discussed about authorization, multi-factor authentication levels, and the conventional authentication manners. So we see that how and what these things are they are using, and what is the check and balance on that. It is not only that the security is implemented in security they are using, but we need that what are the actually check and balances as well, so we can make it sure and confirm that the things what they are intact, as intact as they are supposed to be. And then we will see about the key management and the cryptography. So we see that if suppose cryptographic approaches are applied, at what level they are applied, which techniques applied, how applied, any audit is there, when applied, and why means specifically the cryptographic approaches are applied, and what are the other means security mechanisms which are being handled, and so on and so on. And then we will discuss about the operational security as well. So defense in depth, you can see that this block is actually focusing mainly about the data center. You can find the software assurance, means related security aspects that will be inside the cloud. The data center, you will be discussing about the network security. So you remember we discussed about the Tor and about the frames and about the EOR and the other systems inside the data center. So that will be how they are connected and how we make them zones. You remember that we had the zone HDA, MDA, and ZDA. So what those zones are, how means these issues are related to the network, and how means that will be also related to the inside, or in other words, we can say that is also related to the data center. Then if we suppose go ahead, then we can see that the host and virtual machines. So we'll discuss about them, because host and virtual machines, they will have a very important security issues, because virtual machines we can handle inside the cloud centers, data centers or cloud centers, and also we in some of the cases, in some of the times, we also can give the permissions, the access, the privileges to the end users or the customers, so they can come up with their own virtual machines as well. So we will see that if suppose these are the cases, then how we are handling these criticalities. We'll see about the PaaS and SaaS and about everything, and the rest of the modules as well. So you can see that here mainly we are missing about the AIaaS, and I hope you understand it why it is missing. So based on the services what we are providing, so we are more concerned. We are concerned about the each of the model, but we are more concerned from where we are receiving so many services. So we need to see that in case if suppose they are controlling the security, are managing the security at their own hand, so how they are and what are the means procedures, and how they are making sure, what are the checklists and what are the regular practices and these things. Then we will also see here in the same pattern that what are the authentication mechanisms are there, like suppose physical authentication mechanism as well, how the even employer and the people they are allowed to go at any time, and what is the means policies for the last break access. Last break access. Last break access is a means concept. It is the same like what we have in case of the fighting, and in case of the fire event is occurred in any building. So you can see that we have the proper arrangements for the fire. So they are already means framed in a glass. So we need to break the glass and then we can use that one. So this what I'm mean to tell you. This is not the exactly that mean that how to means have the access, but the glass break access is actually means that in case of emergency, someone who does not have the privileges, but in case of the emergency, maybe how we manage to give anyone the privileges at once. So this is the most important point as well. So we can see that how the authentication and the access mechanism and the key management systems in the normal conditions, and how they are during the some sort of the emergency cases or emergency conditions, like what we just discussed, and we name it about the glass breaking access concept. So we'll see about the cryptography, that how and what, where and why we are using, and how much we are means keep monitoring, and how much auditing we are doing, and how since how long we are means noticing that how about checking its success, and how much we are involved in checking about its log files, and how much we are monitoring, and how much we are looking for its vulnerability and penetration testing and point of exploitations, and everything we need to be checking it on a regular basis. So we cannot say that we just apply these all of the things. We apply for security this, we apply for authentication this, we apply for authorization this, we apply for physical management this, we apply for the host and virtual machine these policies and these approaches, and we apply for the software assurance something. But how, and we need to check regularly, that means to make it sure that these things are actually working properly, and there is no abnormalities in that, there is no malicious activities for that. And even in the data center, while we talk about the security, we consider the physical security even very important. Even we consider the AC, aircon, ducts, and the electricity means power from where we are receiving. So we need to make sure, means why I'm giving this example, just to make you clear and make your understanding better, that it is not only the perspective or aspect which we are looking for the inside and the software related or the hardware related, but at the same time we need to make sure about their physical security. So we consider all of the aspects, and even if we go up to the depth of the ACs and everything, and about the power controlling and power wiring and everything. So then if you see the next block is actually about the operational security. So now in this one, actually we need to see that how means we apply security at the operational level. So in the operational level, again, you can see the subheadings like the data center physical security, data center power and networking security. That's what I was trying to let you know the couple of seconds before. Data center asset management, that how we are doing operational practices, and in case if suppose any incident is going to be happen, so how we manage that incident, how we make a report, and how we get a benefit from that particular report, and how we can see the history, and how we can predict the future, and how we can means have the proper procedures and policies to overcome in case if suppose any issue is there. So that is the actually the block. So now you can see from we started in from the foundational level, and then we reaches up to the operational level. So when we are going for the operational level, so you may not see that the security is over here. That is the one of the aspect which is means being controlled by the service providers. So these all are the things what we are discussing from the part of the service provider, and a few things from the means client perspective, and a few things which are the roles and responsibilities which comes under the procedures and policies, that how the means end user they are means going to react on that, or how much they are trained users they have, and how efficiently they are using these things. But still there is a lot of room inside, like suppose if you are the end user, and the service provider is the company, so how you are means able to reach. So for sure you need the internet. So what happened during this passage of time while you are sending and receiving the data, that is who is responsible. The client is responsible, or the service provider is responsible. Anyhow, our focus here is that we are looking for the security aspects on the cloud. So that's why you remember our chapter title is actually the cloud security. So we are not discussing about the communication security. We are not discussing focusing at this stage, and that is also our consideration. But in this chapter, we are focusing only mainly on the cloud security. So I hope you understand the major and important point about that. So if we just go, means this is the foundational and these things that last time what we discussed, and today now we are going to discuss about the defense in depth, and the operation security, and the other things which are related to that particular aspect. So now we can start about the defense in depth. So when we talk about the defense in depth, the most important and the first thing is actually what it comes that comes the security of the software. The integrity and security of an operational cloud depend on what the integrity and the components that comprises, and on what it comprises. So you can see it comprises on so many things: network, it comprises on the hardware, it comprises on the software, and it comprises on the other many things what we just discussed. But the most important aspect is actually the software, because that is the only thing, that is the not only thing, that is the one thing for which we are means controlling and enabling and making sure that security is there. So that's why the integrity and security of an operational cloud depends on the integrity of the components that comprises it. Means all of the components based on that actually security. So any component on which the cloud is comprises, if the aircon, even suppose what we consider, suppose for example, for the electric system or for the physical management or plumbing and everything. These all things are truly important at the same time. So you can see here that software is a primary vector for the vulnerabilities and the exploits. So because each and every attack, each and every issues, each and every problem, each and everything, they are actually targeting not to the cloud. Means what I mean by the cloud means not to the hardware, but they will be targeting our software. If suppose they want to target our memory, they will target to the software. They will be targeting to our servers, they will be targeting to the software. So all of the things, they actually means leads to, they actually take it the control from the software. So software is the main thing. So that's why our main focus will be on the software at this time. Now that's why we are starting from the software. But why we are starting from the software? So if you just go back and you can see from here, so when we started from the defense in depth, so the software is the higher priority, the first one and the most important part of the software. And then we have the network, and then we have the other things. So that's why the software is at the top. And we are also discussing the software as the first, and we can see the software is the primary vector for because software itself can be, if we can manage the physical means access and the physical security and other things. But what happens if suppose there are the vulnerabilities and issues and threats inside the software? So that's why this is the main component for the cloud which we need to take care of. So now you can see from here that in the checklist of the software assurance, now what we need to, like what we discussed in the last lecture, we need to means consider, and these all are the standard procedures. These are not the questions, these are not the means standards which are built by any single service provider or any means cloud which is providing the services. No, but these are the standards what we discussed previously. Okay, like what we discussed that what are the models for the cloud, so we always refer to the NIST. So in the same way what we discussed earlier, these all are the standards, and these standards are supposed to be meet, otherwise the security will be means compromised. The chances will be there the security will be compromised. And why then we are discussing these things? So you remember that we discussed that, means from previous class or previous to previous class, that you as a cloud engineer, you as a cloud security engineer, when you are suggesting, recommending, proposing one of the solution to your client, so you are supposed to be aware about these all things, that these things are existing or not, and either they are applying the procedures and policies, how they are looking for these all of the things. Then on based on that, because these things are very important and crucially important for taking any sort of the decision, for taking making any solution, finalized solution or proposal for any solution. So that's why we are discussing these things. So now you can see from here what controls are placed into maintain the integrity of the operating system, because we are discussing about the software. So we need to see that what are mechanism, what are the control where we can maintain the operating system. Okay. Normally I don't like to read the slides, but because these are the standard questions, that's why we are supposed to go and read a few lines from that. So we need to see about their applications, about their firmwares, updates, about their patches, about their versions, how they are. Maybe the some of the software is not updated, maybe patches are not installed, maybe the operating system version is not means updated. So could be means this is the issue. Now this is not only that we are supposed to see, then we need to see in their policy documents, in their procedure documents, that how and what is the procedure for updating and applying the patches, updating the softwares, when they are applying, when they are adopting new things like that. So what industry standards guidelines, the best practices are followed. So what it mean? So this is not the industry, that industry, but this is the same standards that what we discussed right now. What controls of the guidelines are used to obtain download software? So means from where they are downloading the software, how they are downloading the software, why they are downloading the software, any verification, any validation, any requirement, any procedure, any standards are there or not. This is just means haphazardly. If suppose something is like that without any policy, then we cannot trust that they will be able to managing the security of this particular aspect. What guideline and procedures are used to maintain the integrity, and like suppose the most important point, the penetration of the vulnerability testing used on each of the release. Means whenever they are going to adopt any of the software, any of the means thing, so they themselves need to apply the penetration testing. So I'm not sure that how many out of you are having the network background, or how many out of you already gone through the secure software system or the wireless network system for the cybersecurity courses. I hope that you are knowing about the penetration testing. So penetration testing, otherwise I can give you a quick this overview. So the penetration testing, just I want to have a water, please. Sorry for that. So penetration testing are, we are doing the penetration testing manually and mostly with the different tools. So in those tools, what we are doing, we are applying those penetration testing to find out the vulnerabilities, to find out the point of exploitations, to find out the bugs in our software. And when we run those things, those softwares, means we use those tools and we do the penetration testing. So those tools, they can generate us a very detailed report about whatever the issues and problems and weaknesses are there. They can prioritize for us that which are the means medium and high and low. So we can see, and then we can examine that, and we can decide based on that report that is suitable or not. Because when we, as a cloud service provider, if we are choosing something, it means we are not choosing only for us that software. We are not making assurance for us, but that is actually depend on how many different clients who are using with us. So in case of any weak point or any case of any issue is there, so the all of the its clientage will be disturbed. So that's why this is a highly important. So we need to make sure means all other things, and even after that, we need to make sure that we are going with the penetration testing, vulnerability testing, and find out and make sure that before we go for that, everything is okay. So in case if suppose the means there are the issues, vulnerabilities, if they are identified, so then how we are gonna fix it. And also once already we apply the software, we are using the software, we may have a regular checks, we may have a regular penetration testing as well. Maybe something or some issues that arise at any stage, so we will be able to address that. This is the most important point we need to understand, and this we need to see. So how we know about that? This we will be able to see from their policy documents, from their means past practices, that we can make sure that they are doing this or not. Now, when we go for the checklist for the network security, which is the second important point, so we can see that what controls are ways to manage the external and internal issues. And specifically, we consider about the DDoS, and also we consider about the other issues as well. So we can see that how our means customers they are using, and how we can isolate the customers from our hypervisors. We can give them access, but how we can isolate and how we can limit them and how we can manage their privileges, because that is the most important point. So we need to make sure that isolation managed between the virtual machines and network hardware as well. And what standards we are following, and how are the MAC, which is normally known as the media access control, where we call about the spoofing, and the ARP, which is known as the address resolution protocols, they are poisoning, and how we are protecting against that. Things actually link with the different sort of the network attacks which possibly can be done on our cloud center, our data center. So if suppose this is the case, then how we are trying to manage that one. That is the most important point. Now you may be amazed, and especially if suppose you are not from the cybersecurity background, and specifically if suppose you are not from the what we can see from the background of these networks. So maybe you are not knowing, maybe you are not aware of why we are saying about the attacks, and specifically why we are naming a few attacks. So for that, I just added here the link, and I'm just going to show you the intensity which you can um, intensity for attack, and then you can be able to understand from this volume of this attack, which is the DDoS. Then from this volume, you can understand it how critical situation which are the related to the security could be. So this can help you for your brain storming. This can help you to understand that why we are discussing and why we are saying this is so important, and this is highly important. So in this way, if suppose I just allow me, I just stop sharing this screen and just show you, and then we will come back. So I can stop sharing here, and then I'm just taking you to that particular part, just to give you the understanding, so you can see if you are not aware about that before. So you can see from here, this is known as the digital attack map. So are you able to see this one, the new screen, the browser? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now from here you can see this is actually the runtime. This is known actually the digital, we call it as digital attack map. So this covers, means we have so many attacks, but this covers actually mainly about the DDoS attack, what we are referring. And this always have a live data of the attacks. So we can trace it, we can see it for the last normally 5 years. And then you can see even the 1 or 2 days before from right from now. So all of the data which is happening, how it's happening, so you can see from there. So I can show you from here, so you can see this is the right now, as I mentioned to you, that we can see for the last 5 years. So this is from the January 15, and we can be able to see the 2 days before as well. So this is the whole world map. And now we are just going to, I just explain you the legends so you can understand. So from here, you can see this is the map, this is the gallery, understanding of the DDoS. This is for the DDoS. And we call this the digital attack map to daily DDoS attack worldwide. So it will show us the actually, top daily DDoS attack worldwide. And again, these are the top attacks. Means these are not 100% covering, but again, from this, the volume, you will be able to see it how much it is. Then you can see the show attacks. These are the legends and the colors for attacks. So you can see from here, this red color is for the TCP connection, and this is for the how much volume is and the how much fragmentation is and application. So this is the size. So you can see these are the legends, and these are the shape which are the source plus the destination. So between the two countries, if suppose this is the sign, you can see this will be between two countries, and this will be internal, means within the countries attacks are there. Means no one is attacking from the outside, but inside the country the attacks are there. So if suppose this is the shape, then you will be able to identify that either the source or the destinations are unknown. So means we, in this case, we know the means source and destination both. In this case, we also know the source and destination both. So the source means the one who is attacking. So we know both of them, and this one is international, and this one is the attack inside. And this is the case, then possibly we are either not aware about the source, either we are not aware about the destination. So at the below, you can see these are the few of the snaps. So you can rotate it. You can open it at your machine as well later on. So you can see, then you can find out this most active countries, which are the red color. So they will be the most, and which are the blue, they will be as the destination. So these are the source and these are the destination. So now you can see from here, I'm just going to run from here. So this will be means analytical statical. It will start showing us. The moment it will start running, so we're just going to run it. I hope it's done. Okay. So it will now start appearing here, but why not it's running? Maybe just give me 1 minute. I just refresh this one. Okay, so if it is not running in this way, maybe some issue for the network. So we can means run it manually. So you can see from here. Okay, why not it's running? Some issue maybe. I wish to show you JavaScript, some error. Wait, we just load it. Unfortunately, it is not working. I don't know why. So you can try with your machine, maybe some browser issues. So what it will be, this is the timeline. So it will go according to the timeline. So you can see here, but because it's not working, so here you will find the current date. So because it is not, maybe I will change the browser later, or you can check with your machine. So from here, you can see what are the notable. This is very important for you to understand, and you can see. So you can see this. This is the only for the different regions and when and where the attacks are done. So this is the live stream. Probably some issue is happening. That's why it is not running. Otherwise, it will start running and it can. We can try again, but you can try at your own machines as well. So what happened? The timeline will be going, and then you will be able to see on this world map where the attacks are going to be happen based on this color coding. So you can see, and then you will be amazed that these attacks are not in 100, not in 1,000, not in millions, but these attacks are in number of the attacks. You will see that more than a millions, and sometimes it touches to the billions as well. So that's what will means make you clear that how and why these things are critical and important as well. So we need to take care about these things. So anyhow, unfortunately, it's not working. I may try to some other browser as well. Maybe this is the browser issue. Later you can try in your own browser. Okay. I wish to show you this is something good, but my machine is as slow as well. So I'm just give me 1 minute. I'm just trying to the other browser. Work, then I will take you there. Otherwise, we will go back to the lecture, and then you can try it at your own machines. I hope at your own machines it will work. So it seems there is an issue, there is a problem in it. It is not working. Maybe some issue. Even in the other browser, it's not working. So I can show you. Okay. So you can see from here about the historical data. At least for a moment, you can get an idea. So see from here, view historical data. So it's not showing us the live, but it is now showing us the based on the data. Come on, come on. So you can see from here. See, I hope that you can see the animations, that how it is happening, and you can follow this one. I was trying to show you exactly that how it is means running, so we can means so you can see that now how it's happening, from which state, from which country. You can see this is United States, and this is Canada, and this is you can see that the huge volume in the Canada, it is undisturbed, but you just press your mouse pointer there and the name of the country, so you will be able to see that what are the other details are there. So you can see from here when I'm moving the mouse, so you can see that in which city actually source and destination is what, maximum Mbps is what. Means why we are saying the Mbps, because the DDoS attack is trying to disturb our traffic, the throughput. So what is the start time, when it is ended time. So you can see from here that December 31 and like that, because we are exploring the history. So you can see this is only showing us up to the, means because it's not lively running. So you can see for this, and this is the data what you're looking for. This is for the 1 day data. Okay. So you can see from here, if we just focus on this one. So this is the June and May, and I don't know why it's not working today. Maybe some issues are there. So you can be able to see even means on a daily basis that how many data and how live attacks are going to be happening. I hope that this will work sometime. So you can even later you can see this one. So anyhow, we're just going back to your slides. The link is already provided there. So you have the link in your lecture as well. So you can utilize that one later on. So now we just go back to our lecture slides. So again, please confirm the moment you are able to have the slides. So the slides are okay. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
That's great, huh? So you can see, because at the moment it's not working, but you can explore it later on at your own, and then you can be able to see that how many issues and problems are specifically just only for DDoS attack, which are in millions and billions some of the time. Now, if we just go for the further for the network, because network is the major thing, more important thing, which is the point of connectivity, source of connectivity. So you can see for the further network, we call the CSP, cloud service providers, and we are discussing about the cloud service provider only. So in this particular case, you can see that we need to means perform the periodic penetration testing, which means maybe we have monthly, we may have full time in a year and like that, but we have to go and we need to see the testing done, both external and internal. So external and internal, to know about the issues and the problems, like suppose for the attacks, like suppose for the DDoS attack, what we were trying to just experience now, but unfortunately we were not able to see that one. So we need to make sure that all of these things are fine and penetration testing is done, and any sort of the vulnerability is there or anything is going to be tracked, then we need to see that how it is going to be managed, how what are the mitigation fees. Actually, that is the most important point that we are supposed to consider. Now, does the CSP, it means the cloud service providers, allow the customers to perform vulnerability testing against the customer's own virtual machines. So we need to make sure, means from each and every aspect, that what we are doing, where we are doing, how we are doing, and even the penetration testing, what when we are doing, and in case if suppose there are issues, then how and sorry, what are the procedures for the mitigation of that to control that one. So when we are going for the host and the virtual machine security, which is very important because you remember that we can access the cloud mainly through the virtual machine. And virtual machine, you remember we discussed that even while you are at the cloud center, data center, we are not going physically. We only visit physically to the racks whenever we have any issue or some problems inside the racks or inside the servers. Otherwise, we have the dedicated room from where we can use the virtual machines, and we can use the virtual machines and we can access them. So all of the instances, all of the services, all of the problems, all of the things we are able to handle from there. So now, while we are using that is the main source of our access to the servers. So then it is very important that we need to see that what virtual machines we are using, how we are managing the security for them itself. Probably their images are patched or not. Probably if suppose they are not, and we are using in the long run, maybe they themselves are malicious, and then probably they can bring any loss to our cloud centers. So we need to be very much sure, and in case if suppose we are giving the permissions to the customers that they can use their own virtual machines or own VMs, then at what standards, at what procedures, what are the policies, how we make sure that whatever they are going to use that one. So, what are the procedures, and how we need to make sure that they are safer and there are no vulnerabilities, that there are no malicious activities from that. Because the client side, and because the end users, they are not, we don't consider them very much technical, and we don't consider and we don't expect from them the high level of the check and balance from them. So this is how we need to make it sure by the applying the policies, make sure that these things are going well. And then also we need to see that what type of the authentication credentials are being used in case of suppose we are using the virtual machines as well. So you remember as we discussed it, we need to see in so many different aspects. So when we talk about security, I hope now and even when we will be ending the chapter, so you will be able to understand that what actually mean by the security, because security is known as a umbrella term, a huge term. This is cannot be classified, or cannot be defined, or cannot be given the definition by whatever we can say that by the one. No, it cannot be. It is so now from these things we can understand that we are looking for network, we are looking for VM, we are looking for servers, we are looking for hardware, we are looking for physical, we are looking for the software, and we are looking for everything. So that is how we will be able to manage the security, and that is why the security is the critical and important. So some of the cloud server, if suppose they are saying we are managing security, then how they are managing security? Why, where are the evidences? Where are their policy and quality documents? So that's how we need to consider. So we need to see that if suppose the virtual machines, if we are allowing, and inside we are using, what ports are allowed. Okay, because they can virtual machines, they can access servers using some ports. So we need to see that what ports they are using. In case if suppose whatever the ports they are using, whatever the images they are using for the virtual machines, they are updated, patched or not, and how we are managing about the IDS and IPS. I hope you are aware about the IDS and IPS concepts. IDS is actually the intrusion detection system, and the IPS is actually the intrusion prevention system. So how we are preventing these things, and how in case if suppose anything or any malicious activity is coming from our client using the virtual machine, so how we are going to identify and mitigate them, or how we are going to identify them first, then we can be mitigating them. So the first thing is that we are preventing system, which is in case if suppose malicious thing is coming, they will not allow. And in case if suppose the normal traffic is running, then we have the IDS, they can detect. So if suppose we detect, then how we are, what are the procedures of the mitigation, how we stop, and how these things are. So you can see that these all are the things which are very important. And when the clients they are accessing to this, so there are so many clients with the cloud, there are so many clients at the same time, and everybody is using their own virtual machines. They are coming from the different ports at the same time. But again, we need to make sure that how we can isolate each client from everyone. And at the same time, how we can isolate their virtual machine request means from the main virtual machines what we are using inside the cloud. So to isolation them, to control their ports, to manage and confirm about the IDS and IPS, to knowing that who is controlling and from where is controlling and what standards they are following. So everything is a very challenging, especially when we talk about the network part in the cloud. So I hope that now you understand it, how big these challenges are, how big these things are. They are not means as a simple as so we can say that we just install some hardware and we install some software, antivirus or something. So it is means being done. No, you can see for each and every step we are supposed to means gather and understand the things in a more appropriate way. So now, what about the means access management? Okay, for the network, we discuss about that. Okay, about the software, we already discussed about that. But now, when we talk about the means access management, okay, once identity is given, everything is done. But how we are means controlling the access in terms of the privileges. Maybe the user which is coming to us, someone has the means higher level of privileges, and in case you suppose someone has the higher level of the privileges, then it means that that person may be becoming a reason, and that person may becoming a cause to destroy or damage our servers. So we need to make sure about these all of the things that how we can. And in case if suppose anything is going to happen emergency, so you can see from the just like last time when we were mentioning and we discussed before, that does the CSP implement the break glass access or not? Break glass access is those people who are physically available there. We are not giving them the means all of the privileges. But what happened actually in case if suppose any emergency situation is arises, in that particular case, we cannot wait for the right person to be there. Maybe that right person is not there. Maybe that right person is at that time is not there. So whoever on a duty, so how we can manage and maintain the policy issues, so we can say that these things can be means happen and control very quickly within no time, so we can manage the means emergency situation. This is very important as well. Now, if we just going ahead, so we can see that discuss about the further that what other things are. In case if suppose the vice versa, that at the right time how we can manage and how we can give the more access to the users. At the same time, we can see that how in case of emergency, how we can means control the privileges from the users who are at the means level or who are at the means physical premises are at the same level. We can see that who the people who are accessing our servers, they are accessing remotely, because mostly we are controlling the things remotely. So in that particular part, if suppose this is the case, then how and we are handling in the normal situations and how we are handling in case of the some sort of the emergency as well. So we need to means consider all of the aspects, privileges in normal situation, privileges in emergency situation, how we can increase the privileges at once, like what we talk about the glass break policy, and how we can also reduce the privileges as well. So how we can be able to manage the credentials and account, how we can means give the additional access, or even we can revoke the access at any time in case of emergency. It is depend on means situation to situation. So these all are the standards that means each and every cloud has to follow with respect to the security aspects. Now, even further, we can see that are we using for the physical access the federated identity management? Like suppose we are maybe using all the federated identity. I hope that you know about that. We discussed earlier. That is actually about the digital means access. Means access where we are means combining the more than a one digital identifications, and then we are giving the access to. So are we using the federated access? Are we using the what we call the multi level or multi-layer access mechanism? Are we only using the biometrics and the fingerprints are probably the iris recognition or suppose the facial recognition? These things are only we are using the conventional methods. So we need to make sure that what are the things, how we are, because if we are using the means federated approach, it means then it will be a bit, means not easy to break that security mechanism. So we need to see that in case if suppose the customer who is coming, so how we that what type of just customer is logging, registering, and we can give everything so he can she can do and complete and go outside, or maybe we can means give him access and then we need to go for the several times to log out and come again and to verify, to check the users, and also to verify about his IPs and everything. So you can see that we need to means manage and maintain all of the things, means in with the most of the all of the aspects what we are supposed to cover. So now if suppose we discuss further, these are the all of the cases that what we discussed. But now what happened? The access management, someone can access physically while he is there at the cloud. Someone can access using the virtual machines. Someone can access using the remote access mechanism. So I hope that you are clear between the remote access mechanism and means having the virtual machine. The virtual machine access is also could be on the premises and could be from the remotely. But when we are saying about the remote access, it means someone can access directly to the servers through the remote access. So these are the possible mechanisms of the access. But what happens if suppose the users they are using to access the cloud servers while using the different APIs? Like suppose you can see that while we are going for the Google Maps, while we are going for the YouTube, while we are going for the other applications. So normally we don't used to go to write the code again, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel. But there are the APIs available, so we can use those APIs, and then we can be able to make our job done, our job finished. So in that particular case, if suppose the people or the customer who are coming from the different interfaces and they are coming accessing the cloud using the means API, which is the application programming interface. So if suppose they are using with the API, so then how we make sure that who is actually accessing, who is behind it, and we discuss about all of the security points, how they are mismanaging that. Is it mismanageable? Is it identified? Is it recognized? And whenever he's coming, there's no malicious attack, no malicious link, no problem as well. So this is also the means challenge we need to manage and maintain about that thing. Then the means next authentication is what we are going to discuss about multi-factor authentication. We call multi-factor, we call multi-layer authentication. Uh, we call means that how we can make sure the authentication means that is means successful, and in case any of the person who is trying to log in, if suppose it is login is failed one or two times, so why it is failed, how we can check and means make it sure. So maybe any intrusion or any anomaly or anything is going to be happen through the login screens, or the person who is means registered but they are not doing. So we need to means manage these all of the things, and we need to keep monitoring any suspicious activity, any suspicious activity who the person or people who is trying to get the authentication or get the access to our system. So now you can understand that why we were discussing about the penetration testing, because we need to go for all of the time. This is a continuous job. This is a continuous job. The security is a continuous job. So we cannot say that if suppose we are doing like this, and that's why what we are discussing, we are referring that we must have a policy document, we must have a procedure document where it is written that how and what and when we are going to do. And in case the resulting is something is coming, then what and how and what are the procedures, so we would be able to address that one. Okay. Now we are discussing about the key management and the cryptography. So when we talk about the cryptography, so in the cryptography, I hope that you are aware about that. That is the one of the mechanism we apply the means cryptography, where we apply uh, encryption on our data, and then we send the data to our destination, and then we decrypt the data again. So we need to see that the key management and the cryptography, that how we are using at the CSP controls. So you can see that the our hardware security modules that we are using, they are either protected or not. Okay, and who access to such means keys, like suppose what it mean by the keys, like suppose for the cryptographic keys. So how those keys are protected for signing and encrypt operations. If suppose we encrypt the data, we have the keys, that it's not only the encryption is the issue, but then if suppose after encryption, the passcodes and the keys and everything, how safer they are, who is controlling them, where they are, what are the policies, what are the procedures, what are the means way that after how long it can be changed, who will change, what are what at what standards means someone can going to be changed and like that. So these all are the important thing they are supposed to be considered. Okay. Then in the cryptography, like suppose what we discussed for what operations and where encryption issues. Means it is not necessary that we have the cryptography approach so we can use everywhere, we can use for everything. No, it's not possible. We need the best fit. You remember the last time what we were discussing. We need the best fit for that one, and we can see that where is the best fit, and based on what best fit is, so then we can only decide that we can go and you can see from last point that the justice security policy clearly define what must be encrypted. So there should be a policy. Not everything is encrypted, but what should be encrypted? Why should it be encrypted? When should be the encryption means going to be changed? What type of encryption should be applied? And what type of the keys and where those keys are? So you can see that there are so many aspects and so many things. I hope you will be understanding now security in its real meaning, because it is something it's very important, and it's very vast. So you can understand the thing that what I mean actually, or what we mean that this is the some sort of the term or terminology, which is the umbrella, which contains so many things in it. So you can see now we are going to the operational security, and that operational security is important as well at the same time. So in security, the most important point is all of the phases are very important. If we have, say, for example, 7 phases of security, and if we manage the security for all of the 6 phases, but the last phase or any one of the phases missing the security standards, then what happened are all of the other phases, they will also be useless. So security is always from start to end. Security is always from means end to end. So that's why you can see now we are discussing about all of the aspects from each and every aspect that we need to manage and maintain. So this is how operational means also that we need to consider about the operational security as well. So there are so many mostly concerns related to the operational when we are means considering an operational. So in what I mean that the most concerns about the operational, that mean actually that is the easiest point from where the security could be compromised. That's why we are saying that this is the most important point. When we apply the security aspects, means in the previous phase, where we call about the deep security aspects, that is actually means a little hard to miscompromise, but it is not easy actually to be compromised. Means at the stage means it is easy to compromise while we are talking about the operational security. So in the operational security, we need to see that the data center physical security, and then also we need to checklist about the data center physical security, its power and its networking. We need to see about the power because it comes under the operational. Power means about the electric. And then we need to means see about its networking. Then we need to see about the physical security as well. So you can see about the data center physical security. Uh, we need to see that who is on a job, who is on a duty, who is at what time, who is controlling anything, what type of the privileges they need, what zones they can control, and how we the facilities we divided into the different zones, and what each zone actually require permissions for the employees, and why we are giving the permissions, and up to what level we are giving the permissions. So what type of the authentication mechanism we applied, that is that authentication what we applied, it is stronger or not. Okay, we cannot say that. So from this you can understand that even if suppose someone is get inside the cloud center. So it doesn't mean that now someone can be able to do anything. Again, there are the different layers, different phases of security. So once you are get inside the cloud, again, you cannot have access to go to the different zones. When you are going to the different zones, you can inside, then again, there are the different security levels. Then again, once you reach to the hardware, then again, there are the means encryptions and these things. So you can see from means the start up to the end, if suppose you are going to access to the server physically, so you are supposed to go through with so many layers, so many phases of security. So any phase of the security or any level of security means may not be compromised. If any one of the phase is going to be compromised, this is only we are discussing about physical aspect. Then again, this will be means the damaging thing or the challenging thing as well for us. So now you can see in the all access monitored document, not only we are saying that these things are there, but we need to see that these things are being monitored or not. What it mean by the monitor? It means that how many people, how many employees today they can, means how many access level they cross, how many authentications they apply, how many privileges they used, and how many means operations they have done. And we need to keep a track for that. We need to make a log for that. We need to manage a video for that. And if suppose we are managing a video, we are keeping a video, how long video we can keep. Okay, for how long video we can keep is for duration. Probably some malicious activity happened today, but probably it was not means come in our knowledge. Maybe after 1 week, 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, maybe. So we need to have the policy and procedures that if suppose the videos are there, so we need to retain the videos and how long. So there is a duration. After that, once we can see that okay, this phase is down, then we can be able to destroy. So it's not only to just have a video and we can see and then we can destroy. So you can see from every each and every point we need to be is very much careful, and there are the so many layers so we can manage that one. So now the power and the networking, as we discussed at the start, this is very important. Is the air conditioning means size to withstand extended periods of the extreme conditions? Okay. So we need to manage these things. We need to means any malicious activity, any of the means low standard sorry, things are there, we cannot. So you can see from the first point is the power and networking secured within the facility or not. Now it's secured in terms of so many physical security, proper installation. Maybe something is going to happen that, and then it will be means creating a problem for the facility. So does the facility have the multiple internet connections or not? In case of suppose something is going to be having a problem, then what we can do. So in case if suppose the power backups we have or not. So in case suppose even we have the power backups, do we have the UPS or not? So maybe we switch to the UPS, maybe you can go to the power backups, and even we have the multiple backups for the power. Okay, so I can give you, which is not related to this one, but it's very interesting. You are knowing about that, so I can give you the one example for your better understanding, because that's the something what we are using everyone, the cell phones. So you notice that we are using the cell phones. You can experience the tower, mobile tower, which is technically we call them as a base station. So you can see that the base station they can work with the power. But most of the people and most of us they don't know that how it is being handled. Okay, that is my research area as well, and I visited the switching centers as well. Switching center, not to be worried, that is like an exchange what we call in the mobile centers in our normal handphones. So for our mobile centers where we have the exchange, we call as the MSCs, mobile switching centers. So I worked there, I visited there, and I know. So I'm just sharing with you the experience. So did you notice that sometime or any day you feel that your mobile is not receiving signal completely for 1 minute or 2 minutes, and maybe they can say that there is no signals. How come? It's not only the technical part, but it's a networking part, it's an electrical part as well. So now I'm just letting you know the example. Then you can means understand and consider the same importance and the same procedures that is actually we use, and even more than this we use for the cloud as well. So now for this, you can see specifically. So when you visit to the switching center, so what is the base stations? They have one electric source. What is the governmental electric source? What we are using at our homes and offices. Then the second source is actually they have the UPS that is placed there. The third source is actually the means alternate power generations through the generators that is there. The fourth source is actually now they are using the solar panels. Okay, that solar panels are just for in case of emergency, and these all of other than the primary sources, these all the sources just for the to tackle the emergency situation. So any emergency situation is there, then they can be there, and then they can be switching means going to the reliable source. And then the last one is the major, the fifth or sixth source is the major gel batteries, which are placed in the actually what we call to the switching centers. And those in those switching centers, actually those gel batteries are costing a lot, even beyond your imaginations, in hundred of thousands, and they have a very means high life, and they those your base stations are those your towers, they are actually connected to the wires with those as well. So in case if suppose main power is failure, in case if suppose the UPS which is placed on the premises is failure, in case if suppose solar panel is failure, in case if the means auto alternative generation power is failure, then what happened again? It will jump switch to the those means very costly solutions, but they are placed at the uh, means switching center. So you can see that how many alternate plans are there. So in the same way, we in the clouds we have the alternate plans for networking, for power, and for the internet as well. Means we cannot rely on one or two internet connection. We cannot rely on the power backups for the one or two. We cannot rely on the aircon solutions one or two. Maybe the some of the aircon solutions is not working, then we don't have a time to means go and repair and and then we make it up. We have always the backup solutions. They are always we need to see that they are secure enough or not, and we already discussed about the security aspects about that. So the other means data center asset management, like suppose how we can manage their assets. So how we can segregate these assets from the physical means separations from the assets from the different sensitive levels, how we can make them in the different zones, and how they are I mean separated from means each one, and how we are making their inventory, and how we are computing their inventory, how we are tracking them, and how we are keep monitoring the available resources and hardware and the physical assets, and means for all of these things again we have to have the policies and procedures and mechanisms. So we need to make sure that these things are in a secure pattern. So going ahead, you can see about further about the checklist for the operational practices. So we discuss about the operational practices because we can operate with the internet, we can operate with the network, we cannot operate without network, we can operate with the air cost, we can operate with the power. So for these, all of the things, we need to have the secure mechanisms. We need to have the backups. Okay, so the having a big backups, this is enhancing our security level as well. So in operational practices, you can see that the is there any formal change control process are there, and any procedure that is clearly documented or not. Does the change control include means to guide the decisions to what changes required at the reassessment of the risk? Do we apply the risk assessment as well or not? Do we see that anything is going to be happening then what we are and how we are going to control? Okay, what are the operating procedures? They are clearly documented or not? Why we are focusing again and again about the documented? Because if something is documented, it means that thing is practiced in practice. If something is not documented, so it means that either it is not in practice or either it is partially in practice, because as a people we can forget about that. So you can see that these all things are truly crucially important as well. So now when we're going for the next, so we can see that what security controls are used to mitigate the malicious in case of suppose any malicious activities are there. Even after that, then how we are able to manage that one, which is the most important and critical. Okay, and in case if suppose these things are there, so how we can be able to make the backups for our means data, because their data is not our, that data is our, but the data is for so many different means. client. So we need to have the different backup policies as well. We cannot compromise on the data. So where are the backups stored and how long they can keep? Means it is not necessary that we always have the backup and we keep and we keep and we keep. So what type of the backups and how we are means taking the backup? Like suppose it is it incremental backup or it is means a completely fresh and the new backup. Means in backup when we are taking, if we are taking a fresh backup, it means that we are taking from A to Z backup in whatever the time, whatever the period, on daily basis or hourly basis or whatever the minute basis, whatever it is. And if it is incremental backup, it means that we took the backup till today. So tomorrow we will just only will take the backup, which is the difference from today to tomorrow. But in that particular case, if suppose we are doing this, we need to be sure that our backup itself is not corrupted. And what is the backup of backup as well? Because we cannot have a chance to destroy our data. So these all things are crucially important. They can help us to manage the security. So you can notice now that even we are having the webcams and cameras and videos, what we are managing and monitoring for the security, we are supposed to means keep these things intact as well. Okay, and also they're recording for a longer period to follow the standards. So these all of the standards, as we discussed, that they are identified by the international bodies, and each and everyone is supposed to implement. And as a cloud specialist, we are also supposed to know about that. Based on that, we only be able to means give the solution to our client. Now, even after that, in case of suppose any incident is going to be happen, because we cannot control. This world is not perfect. We cannot say that we apply, we do this, follow each and every standards, we have every mechanism, so there will be no incident. No incident could be happen any time, could be any reason. So in case if suppose any incident is going to be happen, so what information is captured, how we handle that. And in case if suppose while we are doing an audit, so in audit, if suppose we notice that something or some problem is there, so we can see that if suppose that problem was happened, then how it was tackled, how it was handled. Okay, and we need to see that either the company they are doing the audit about their log files or not. So you can see from everywhere we need to see that each and every aspect we need to be reviewed. Even they review the log files. Why they review the log files? Because from there they can get the information. In case if suppose something is malicious and wrong, so they can be having the time to manage the things. So you can notice that everything is important, and we are going at the very minute level, minor level details as well while we are discussing about the standards and about the security. So further, we can see that how and how often are the logs checked for the integrity. So remember we said that either they are checking for the logs or not, either they are managing the logs or not, they are keeping the logs for how long. But not only that, but we are seeing how and how often the logs are checked, how and when the audit is going to be done, how and what happen in case suppose if any anomaly is going to be detected during the audit, how the people, what are the procedures and policies, how they are is able to handle that one. Does the CSP, which is the cloud service providers, has a formal process to detect the identify and respond to the incident or not? In case of any incident, not only we apply the emergency plans, but we need to have a preparation that possibility could be like this type of the incident could be happen. So in case if suppose any type which is documented happen, then what is the documented procedure and solution is there, and how they are going to control that one. And in case if suppose how and when any incident happen, how fast the response is, and that response procedure and policies are documented or not. So you can see that we are considering even a minute level details as well. Going ahead, so further for the incidents, we need to means check that the CSPs have means statistics for the previous incidents or not. Did we analyze them or not? Did we see that what was the source of the incidents? Means what I mean that the incidents because of the power, because of the network, because of the hardware, because of the cryptography, because of the hardware, because of the operating system, means because of the virtual machine. For what reason? learn anything or not. How long are the security logs are retained and how and when. You can notice again that we need to go in a minute level detail as well to make sure that everything is perfectly means locked and perfectly mature enough so we can be able to. So metrics, which is the most important, and this is the most important in this world, nothing is happened without the metrics. How we can be able to means manage the metrics as well. Okay, how secure it is implementation, and how well does the GSP meet the discrete security requirements, and we are looking for these all of these. So this is how we can conclude here that how we can manage these things. That this is how we can see to managing a security, which we cover in the 2 weeks. But again, this is not covered all. This is we were trying to do your brainstorming so you can understand. First of all, you need to understand that security is important, then why it is important. Then the second most important point you need to understand, if suppose we are saying about security, so security doesn't mean that only ARPSC are only applied to part ARPSC, but it is from end to end, from start to end, a process or procedure. It's an umbrella which can goes from means one end to the next end. Or in a simple words, at an abstract level, I can give you a proper understanding. As a human, if suppose we born till we are means in this world and we go to the next world while we are going to be means expire. So till the day first up to the end, like every year, every that we break them up into the different blocks and then we talk about the security for the procedure security, for the deep level security, for the business level security, for the operational level security, for the physical level security. So this can be broken down into the different blocks and that can be considered in all of the aspects. I hope that you understand it very well from all of the aspects. Thank you very much for your time, for your patience. I hope everything is clear to you. Now we can go for the so please make your cell phones ready so I may stop sharing this one screen and as well I can stop the recording. We can go for attendance. If you have any question, you are welcome